Good evening, everybody. Bang on time and not destroying the set. Rach is here straight away. Rach, good evening. Hello. Kat is here as well. Gemma's here. Let's give people a few minutes to join. I'm cutting my head off again here. I'm going to move this back a little bit. Do this all the time, and then when I try and sit further back, Hev is here. That's a new name. Hev, let us know where you're viewing from. And every time I try and sit back, I end up smashing into this frame. Wade the King, Nina, there's a few new names here I've not seen before. Let us know where you're watching from. Tracy, great to see you in the house. Let's give people a few minutes to join. For those who are watching on the replay or have never joined us on a scope before, my name's Ross. I'm an actor and a voiceover artist from Manchester in the UK, and I'm kind of obsessed with mindset, positive psychology, science-backed though, positive psychology, not nonsense woo-woo, whisper stuff, it's going to happen. Hello Gemma, everything we talk about on these scopes, I scope Monday, Wednesday and Friday, is generally the science of success, the stuff that's actually easy to implement in your life, is backed by science, but it's really going to help you get further in your life faster. I'm an actor, a lot of actors join these scopes, but everything we talk about, regardless of what job you do, is relevant, okay? It could be, you could be a plumber, a racing driver, an astronaut, whatever, it's all relevant. Kim is in the house. Kim, great to see you as well. Tonight, we're going to be talking about, and I'm going to move this back even a little bit further, we're going to be talking about something that in the Facebook group, so a lot of people on here will be part of a Facebook group that we all run together for a website that I have called Act On This, the TV Actors Network. If you want to join the Facebook group, it's facebook.com/groups/Act On This TV. Evening, Kim. And I've noticed a few people in the Facebook group today were posting about kind of people being negative in terms of choosing to be negative and calling other people out in terms of not wanting to see other people do particularly well. And I posted something about something called Krabbe Bukit mentality, and this is fascinating, guys. Who's saying hi? Hey Hev, let us know who you are, Hev. I've not seen your name pop up before. Ed was here as well. Great to see you, Ed. Yeah, Krabbe Bukit mentality is absolutely fascinating. My first time on Periscope. Amazing, Rach. Thanks for joining us. You can get this on YouTube, and I'll post a video to it as well. Just search for like Krabbe Bukit or something like that on YouTube, and you will see when one crab is in a bucket on its own and the lid is off, it will crawl up and it can get out. Okay, and that's absolutely fine, and it will escape every single time. Oh, it's Heather. Heather, how are we doing? When more than one crab is in the crab bucket, okay, the lid will be off and they could all climb out if they wanted to, but the minute one of them tries leaving and tries to climb out, the others, it's mental, but the others will grab hold and pull the crab back in, so the one that's trying to get out will never be able to escape, and they do that no matter who tries to get out, so they never get out. None of them get out. Lulu's here. Great to see you, Lulu. So yeah, I was saying, there are people in society, unfortunately, who are like this. This mentality, this Krabbe Bukit mentality, happens with human beings as well. So if you are trying to rise and you're trying to become better and more successful, then unfortunately there will be, and it's just a matter of life, and you need to accept it. There'll be people around you who don't want to see you do that, and they will try and be that crab and reach up and drag you back into the bucket because they don't want to work hard and rise up themselves. It's far easier for us to do things like watch Jeremy Kyle to make ourselves feel better about our own lives by comparing them to people who have worse lives than us, than it is to actually do something positive and climb out of that bucket ourselves. So be aware of that. So tonight's scope, I've done a little, I've got some slides again, guys, as always. For those who don't normally join these scopes, I always print out slides. We're going to be looking at 5 reasons being what I call a negaholic, literally addicted to negativity, because there are people out there like this. 5 reasons why being a negaholic will ruin your acting career. Ruth, never compare myself to others. You're pretty good, Ruth, I think, from like where you're at. You always seem to have quite a growth mindset on this kind of stuff, which is good, but I'm sure you'll be able to learn stuff from this as well. This is stuff that when I was writing out before, because I like science, I like everything backed by science, I was looking up a few scientific kind of studies, and even I was like, there's stuff here that's brilliant, stuff that we all should be reminded of, definitely. So let us know if first of all, if you've ever experienced that crab-like mentality, not for you but other people around you as you've tried to rise up. Give me some hearts, or let me know if that's happened to you, where you've been other people around you try to drag you back down. My hairdresser, right, this is a random story, but my hairdresser's daughter is going into Emmerdale very soon as a regular character, which is a bit random, isn't it? It's such a small world. and her friends at school, she's only young, I think she's about 14, 15. Her friends at school are not being particularly supportive of her, because I think there's obviously a lot of jealousy there, you know, and she can't talk about the role necessarily because, you know, there's a lot of kind of secrecy around the storylines and who she's going to be and that kind of thing. And they're like, oh, you just should tell us why you're being like this, oh, you think you're so much better, and all this kind of nonsense. And they're, you know, she's like the crab trying to climb out, and her friends are trying to drag her back down. Now she's made a few new friends, and he is absolutely thrilled, Ruth. Seriously, we've been talking about it for months. I'm so made up for him though. He's such a nice guy, and I'm sure his daughter's amazing. She's now got a few new friends at school, and they're being really, really supportive. Obviously, she's unfortunately had to kind of like, you know, find some better people to associate with, and we talk about that a lot on these scopes. You know, your life really is, you know, the average of the people you hang around with, and the people you're spending the most time with, you end up becoming. So you've got to be really careful. Small minds content with what's in front of them. Yeah, absolutely, definitely, Kat. So we're going to look at, you know, the reasons why. And a lot of people say to me sometimes, oh, but you know, you're Mr. Positive, aren't you? Or it's all right for you. You just always seem happy all the time. Trust me, I'm not, right? There's loads of stuff in my life and loads of challenges that I face every single day, like every other person, but I tend to choose optimism as opposed to pessimism, and we all have that choice, and there's a lot of reasons behind that, and it's not because I'm airy-fairy and like, oh, I look through the world, you know, the world with rose-tinted glasses. It's because there's a lot of scientific study behind the benefits of choosing an optimistic mindset. And I want to do a book club on a Friday, guys. We do book club, and I want to do a book club in a few weeks on something called Learned Optimism. It's by an author called, oh, what's his name? Oh, someone Selgfield, I think. I'll find it in a sec. Awesome book, but there's a lot of science behind this, and this is what I want to kind of go through tonight. So, are we ready? Give me some hearts if we're all on and we're ready to look at why we should choose optimism over pessimism every single time. The hearts are coming through, so people are ready. I've got a coffee tonight. No green pond juice. Who's this? Lindsay, great to see you joining. You've just joined us in time, Lindsay. We're looking at the science behind why we should always choose to be optimistic when we can. And you always can, no matter how kind of bad you're feeling, you always have that choice, guys. How do we do the hearts? You just tap the screen. So you can tap just like one for one heart, or you can double tap, or you can triple tap, or you can just do this all over and just send loads through. And the more I see, the better it makes me feel. That's it. There you go. Martin Seligman. That's it. Absolutely. Yeah, I think I've even referenced him in one of these slides tonight. But it's a great book called Learned Optimism, and we should all look at it. Look at all the hearts going through. Amazing. So first up, and this is particularly important if you're in the creative industry and you're an actor, but it's important if you're whatever job you're in, you know, just in life in general. Pessimism, guys, kills creativity. Now, hopefully you can see this. You can screenshot these slides as well. If I hold this up straight enough, you can screenshot these, guys, as you would take a screenshot on your phone. But I also upload the slides to the replay of this as well. So there'll be a replay of this Periscope on actonthis.tv tomorrow, and you can download a PDF actually of these slides in like high quality, because I know sometimes depending on your internet connection you might not be able to see this that clear. But it says here, pessimism kills your creativity. If we want to thrive in our life and industry, it's critical that we offer creative solutions to difficult problems. That's your job as an actor, right? But pessimism not only kills your own creativity, but as Neil Wadwa, he's like a freelance journalist that I read quite a lot of his stuff, he says it also ends up killing the creativity of others around you. And I think this is what's really, really crucial. So he wrote in an article I read before, he said, pessimism is an overall negative mindset in which you're reluctant to build upon your creative ideas. Your creative pursuits may not have been successful in the past, and you assume they won't be successful moving forward. Not only does it stifle your creativity, but along the way you also start to undermine the ideas of others. So who's had someone in their life recently, maybe, you know, this might be kind of current for you, whose own pessimism has not only stifled their creativity, but has actually stifled yours as well. So maybe you wanted to write something, you wanted to put on a show, you know, you wanted to film a short film or do a scene for your show reel, and because someone else hasn't been able to make that work in the past, they've gone, oh, you know what, don't bother doing that, it's just not going to work for you, you know, that's no good, don't do that. And then it's, you know, you've started questioning your own creativity then, of going, oh, well, is this really a good idea? Is this really what I should be doing? Because that happens a lot. You'll get like an initial burst of momentum or motivation. You'll feel really upbeat. I'm going to go and do this. And then somebody, you know, the negaholic in your life will be like, oh, don't do that. You know, I tried to do that once and it was terrible. And this isn't just in the acting industry. This is in all walks of life. People will do this. You know, they will. Their negativity, unfortunately, you know, will rub off on you. But it will not only kill your creativity if you're negative, but it's going to kill the creativity of everybody else around you as well, whether that's your partner, your friends, your loved ones, your family. And so that's number one. Number two, and this is where a bit of science comes in, and I've had to, this slide is jam-packed with words because I couldn't fit it all on. But I can post a link in the Facebook group. Sam, I can see Sam's joined. I'll post a link in the Facebook group so you can go and read about this study. But I want to talk about how pessimism actually harms you emotionally. And I don't mean it just makes you feel down, okay? It can really hurt you, like, you know, over a long period of time as well. Hitesh is here. Hitesh, great to see you, buddy. So it says here, pessimism harms you emotionally. Okay, so research, and I've got the research on this that I can share with you. Research shows that while positive thinking wears off, okay, so we can all feel positive for a little bit if we think positive, negative thinking sticks with us for weeks. Okay, we may have to work at staying positive, but going negative is easy. Give me some hearts if you agree with that. Okay, you've got to work at being positive, haven't you? But how easy is it to just go negative? It's so easy. You don't have to try at that. We can all do that. Evening, Hitesh. It says, every time you remember a negative thought, your sense of well-being takes a dive. Okay, I know there's a few people on the Facebook group and a few people on this scope who will relate to that. They'll resonate with that because they felt that today. I know that's a fact from what you posted. So there was a study that I'll link to, and I'll put this up later on, but this was basically the overall gist of it. It says college students completed an event outcome appraisal questionnaire, okay, designed to make salient positive and negative thoughts about the outcomes of recent stressful events. So they were basically filled in this questionnaire that was going to make them think of positive and negative recent events in their life, okay. Subjects' well-being was then assessed both immediately after the manipulation and again 8 weeks later. So they got tested straight away once they'd done this, and then 8 weeks later, okay. Positive thinking increased the well-being that subjects reported immediately after their thoughts were assessed, but was unrelated to the well-being they reported after an 8-week delay. So initially, they were like, yeah, I feel great. After all this positive thinking, I feel fantastic right now. 8 weeks later, that positive thinking they had that day made absolutely no difference whatsoever, okay? And this suggests that although thinking positively about past event outcomes may temporarily lead to perceptions of increased well-being, while the thoughts are salient, as in they're in your mind there and then, it's got no enduring influence. In contrast, negative thinking was associated with lower reported well-being, not only when the thoughts were salient, as in there and then, but after a delay as well. So they found that the negative thoughts were the thoughts that stayed with people up to 8 weeks after they initially thought of them. So if you're constantly, you know, going round and round with negative thoughts in your mind, you basically you're pretty much guaranteeing yourself that not only are you going to be unhappy for that day, but it's going to have an impact on you for 2 months later on. And sometimes what people do is they end up playing whatever scene it is in their head where someone was wronged or something was done bad to them or someone deceived them or whatever it is. And they play this like videotape repeatedly over and over and over and over again in their head. And every single time you do that, you're effectively going, oh well, there's another 2 months of my life that I'm going to be pretty pissed off for. Whereas when you think of positive thoughts, you know, you're going to be happy in the moment, there and then, but they're not going to feed you through for the next 8 weeks. So ultimately, you've got to practice positivity every single day. You only have to practice negativity once, and it's going to affect you for 2 months. So just be aware of that. And you know, and this is like science, guys. You know, this is not like me just going, oh, I think good thoughts and everything's going to be great. This is backed up with real hard evidence, and I'm going to show you some more science in a minute about. Thanks for inviting your friends, Hitesh. Yeah, everybody invite people to these scopes. You can do that through Twitter and through Facebook. I think if you swipe, what do you have to do? You have to swipe up, and then you can choose Twitter and Facebook and stuff, and you can invite people. So that's point number 2, guys, all right? Because this is going to be applicable for everybody. I say it's not just actors. So point number 2, pessimism harms you emotionally for a long time, okay? Literally, you know, up to 8 weeks at a time for every negative thought you have. And you're not going to escape a negative thoughts at all. But what the trick is to catch yourself when you are thinking negatively and reframe it and consciously make that choice, because you have the power of choice. You know, consciously make that choice to go, sorry, Ross, we know this isn't good for you. You know, what can we focus on in the moment right now that's positive, that you can be grateful for, that's going well in your life, you know, and it's just going to reframe you straight away. Gemma just got home. Oh, Gemma, I just got home. Sam just got home. I'm glad you got home in time, Sam. Awesome. 3, so this leads on from what we just spoken about, okay? So pessimism not only kind of like makes you feel bad, you know, and hurts you emotionally, but it will keep you down as well. I'm just going to look a little bit further in this 3rd slide. So again, you can take a screenshot of this if you want, but I'll be uploading the PDF to this tomorrow for the replay. So we've got here, it says negative thoughts are often demotivating and can really impact job performance, okay? If your heart's not in your job, and everyone who's doing a part-time job, they hate it right now, will get this, okay? I used to feel like this when I used to work in retail and I hated it. If your heart's not in your job, leaders and colleagues will notice. It's inevitable. People around you are going to notice. Mary's here. Good to see you, Mary. If you you know, you'll watch promotions and other opportunities pass you by. So whether you're in a normal job where you can get promoted, or whether you're in the acting industry where you'll get opportunities, you know, if you're going to be the negaholic, the one addicted to negativity, you're going to just see other opportunities pass you by, okay? The central characteristic of a pessimist is that they believe unfortunate circumstances will endure, undermine everything they do, and are their own fault, okay? This is the big thing. How many people are harsh on themselves and beat themselves up for things that really weren't even their fault, but they'll blame themselves? If you do, give me some hearts, because I think we've all done that at times. Optimists, on the other hand, perceive setbacks as temporary. Okay, this is a growth mindset, okay, not a fixed mindset. Someone with a fixed mindset is a pessimist. An optimist has a growth mindset. They see setbacks as temporary, specifically confined to one occurrence, and that they're not their own fault, okay? The resulting behaviour from these very different thought processes is compelling. The pessimist gives up, and the optimist keeps trying. It's as simple as that, okay? Martin Seligman, who I talked about before, author of Learned Optimism, which we're going to look on a book club, we're definitely going to look at that book, contends that this mindset can affect everything a person does. And I completely agree, you know, it absolutely, depending on your mindset, whether it's fixed or growth, whether you're an optimist or a pessimist, will affect every single thing that you do. And I think, yeah, definitely, Ruth. I think we're all optimists, all pessimists. I think we're all optimists. I think, you know, everyone who's joined this scope obviously has a higher vision for their life and career, because you wouldn't be spending time with me on a night time, particularly at 10 o'clock when you could be watching Netflix or watching whatever it is that you watch on TV. You obviously wanna reach that next level, grow, learn. Ultimately, that's what it's about. So I think that's absolutely awesome. But I think everybody, just as human beings, unfortunately, you know, we all have that little negative voice in our head now and again. I like to kind of dress it up as something a bit more positive than it is, and I call it, like, you know, your success prevention officer. So it's not like, you know, the devil or whatever. And your success prevention officer, the little voice that is that little pessimistic sometimes, it's generally there to kind of, you know, protect you, and it'll go, oh, Ross, maybe you shouldn't do that, mate, because what if you lost loads of money if you did that, or you got your heart broken, or that didn't work, or you look silly, or that kind of thing. And you've got to not listen to that. You've got to bargain with that success prevention officer and go, listen, mate, thanks for your concern, really appreciate it, but what if it all went right, because something great could happen. Oh, you met Sam tonight. Have you been at Act for TV tonight? Did you both go, Gemma? Let us know how that went. So that's number 3, okay? So pessimism will keep you down. So not only we learned in slide 2, you know, pessimistic thoughts last months. You know, even if you have one negative thought, it can affect you 2 months later. Caution is okay sometimes, absolutely, but you've got to bargain with that kind of protective voice in your head. Did a scene from did your scene from Accused? All right, awesome. Yeah, I did a scene in Accused. That was one of my first ever jobs. Jimmy McGovern's Accused. Yeah, I played a copper who had to go and tell Peter Capaldi and Juliet Stevenson that their son had died. It was pretty hard scene. It's pretty, yeah, it was. I remember, God, that was a long day, absolutely long day. But yeah, that was like pretty kind of highly tense, emotional scene for Juliet and Peter, definitely. It was you and me tonight. That's amazing. That's amazing. Absolutely amazing. It's yeah, it's a great show though. Accused is brilliant, really good. Really, Jimmy McGovern's writing is just fantastic. So 3, pessimism keeps you down, guys. 4, what else? You were celeb tonight. Yes. What, did they play the scene? Did you get to see it, or did they just go, this was Ross, he did this? Sometimes Michael will play scenes. Yeah, gotta remember that. But yeah, that was years ago. Awesome scene though. You know, it was a little bit harsh though, wasn't it? Because he's saying like, oh, your son's just died, but don't worry, just phone this number in the morning and it'll all be alright. Michael just pointed to your picture. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. And everyone went, oh, he's the voiceover guy. Brilliant. I love it. So guys, point 4, right? Pessimism. What else does it hurt? This is obvious, but people might not appreciate it. It really damages your relationships. As the saying goes, perception is reality. Okay? If you're always thinking and communicating the worst, you'll turn people off and drive them away. How many times have you tried to get away from someone who's just a negaholic and you're like, I don't want to be around you because you're draining me within minutes of meeting you, I hate it. Instead of growing closer, okay, they'll start looking for excuses to be someplace else with somebody different. If you're always being negative, people will start making excuses not to hang out with you, okay? Because cynical and suspicious attitudes create a negative filter through which we observe our surroundings, when we're in this state, we tend to miss out on joys in life. You're going to miss out on loads of stuff because people won't invite you to anything. We indulge in an us versus them mentality, and the acting industry breeds this. God, it does. It pins us against a certain person or group. Okay, it's easy to distort people and create a caricature of their flaws. When we do this, it's valuable to ask ourselves, whose point of view is coming through? Is this how I really feel, or am I overreacting based on old feelings from my past? So if you're bringing up old stuff time and time again, and you're almost influencing your view of the world and other people around you, and you're giving off this negative vibe, other people just ain't going to want to spend any time with you ultimately. Trying hard not to be infected by a negaholic in my home. Oh God, I won't speak too loud in case they're listening. Yeah, that's a tricky one, Ruth, definitely. Yeah, that's quite hard. But yeah, you absolutely, if it's your lodger, God, and it's getting too much, start looking for a new one who's slightly more aligned with your mission. Ultimately, that's what it's about. You know, you want to create a mastermind group around you, people who are all kind of after a common goal, or at least have a common vision and a common mission in the world, whether that's to make a positive impact or you know, to achieve X, Y, or Z, or whatever that is. But yeah, I'd definitely start looking for other tenants potentially. So 4, yeah, pessimism damages your relationships. People won't want to be around you. People want to work with you. Directors, trust me. I've been sat in on castings before and overheard conversations where a talented actor has not got a job because he's an absolute dick to be around, and he's very negative and very kind of, you know, me versus the world, everyone's against me, I've got to prove a point and I've always got to be the loudest and all this kind of stuff, and it's lost people jobs before, even though their talent is great. You know, their talent has taken them somewhere, their character couldn't keep them. It's really sad. Oh, so many of them. Yeah, absolutely. Ruth, start posing Ross quotes on posters all over your house. Yeah, start printing some posters out. Just start printing this one out here. Optimism, pessimism, F that. It's not really kind of child friendly though, is it, for getting children on the scopes? 5, and this is the most serious point, and again, this is backed by research, guys, and this is just ultimately like why you should always choose. The power of choice is so powerful. You should always choose optimism over pessimism. Okay, pessimism literally makes you sick, and I mean it like in the worst way. Okay, you've heard of the placebo effect. I'm sure everyone's heard of the placebo effect. Okay, well, researchers have now also documented what they call the nocebo effect. Okay, when we think we'll get sick, we tend to actually do so. Who's suffered from panic attacks or anything in the past? I watched 24 Hours in A&E before I go on. Last night it might have been, or the night before. Guy was taken into hospital thinking he was having a heart attack. Okay, it turns out they did all these tests on him and he was going, I've got stabbing pains, oh, I'm dying, I feel really like I'm going to die. Turns out he's actually suffering from a panic attack. He'd initially got a twinge in his chest, and rather than going, oh, it's just a muscle twinge that, as we do, you know, normally we'll just go, oh, it's nothing, we'll pass it off. He started obsessing about it, so going, oh God, oh, it's a heart problem, oh, I'm having a heart problem. And then that in itself was like self-perpetuating, started making him feel even worse. And then he eventually started bringing on symptoms like he was actually having a real heart attack, because he was so focused on this, you know, this effect that he thought he was feeling. So it was literally kind of, you know, self-fulfilling. It says, when we think we'll get sick, we tend to actually do so. Negative thinking not only drives up our stress levels, it also can lead to heart attacks and other serious health problems, including dementia. Now, I read about a study, a 2009 study, okay, for more than 97,000 women. So this isn't like a study done on 10 people, right? 97,000 women showed that optimistic women had lower rates of coronary heart disease, lower cancer-related deaths, and mortality. You know, so they were living longer. Conversely, women with the most pessimistic and cynical personalities, don't know why they did women, by the way, it's not sexist, I think they just studied women on this. Conversely, yeah, women with the most pessimistic and cynical personalities had higher rates of these diseases and death. When we think of hostility and negativity as life-threatening conditions, it makes the goal of being less cynical all the more crucial. So if you can, you know, it's such a compelling reason, isn't it? If you can think in the moment, God, I'm being really pessimistic and I'm thinking really negatively at the moment, this could actually have a long-term impact on my mortality. It's going to make you go, wait a minute, snap out of this. You're going to get out of it a bit quicker, hopefully. But it really can make you like ill, like really ill, not just emotionally. We've looked at how it can hurt you emotionally, but it can literally kill you. It can be that bad. Just choose to not focus on pessimism or negativity. It's like, you know, it sounds simple and it sounds dead, you know, obvious, but we do slide towards it if we're not careful. Overly sensitive ladies wear our heart on our sleeves. Yeah, I don't know why the study was done on women. It was just one study that I read. I'm sure there's loads of studies out there on guys as well. I mean, God, you know, negativity affects guys. I think the highest suicide rates are guys in their late teens to, like, you know, late 20s. It's men, it's not women. Kevin, how are we doing? Good to see you. So yeah, Kev, I don't know how long you've been on the scope for, man. We've just been through the 5 points, but I'll recap. So reasons why pessimism literally will kill you, your life, your acting career, literally will kill you. From 5 to 1. So 5, remember, pessimism makes you sick. Literally makes you sick. Oh, Kev, you have to watch the replay, buddy. So you can catch up on this stuff. But we're looking at why literally people who are negaholics, as I call them, addicted to negativity, it will ruin them, their life, their career, any chance of success, and literally can bring on diseases like heart attack, cancer, dementia. We're scoping myself, no worries. Well, I'll watch your scope. You watch the replay on this. So point 4 was point 5 was it literally can make you sick. Point 4, it just damages relationships. People don't want to be around you. They don't want to be around that negaholic. People don't want to work with you, which is crucial in the acting industry. You want to really work with the people who light you up and charge you, because it can be stressful as it is. Pessimism keeps you down. So in terms of life enjoyment, people will, you will miss out on those opportunities to progress. You're always going to be, kind of kept down. 4, it harms you emotionally. So slide 2, point 4 for us. No one likes a neg-ed, Kev, exactly. Literally, can really scar you emotionally. Scientifically, studies have proven that negative thoughts last up to 2 months from when you've had them, whereas positive thoughts last very, very, kind of much less, like just a few days, if that, if not just the moment that you're in. So you have to practice positivity far more than you have to practice negativity. Negativity will take care of itself. You've got to really be conscious of staying positive. So remember, negative thoughts last up to 8 weeks from when you've had them. Positive thoughts last just a few hours. Keep having as many positive thoughts as you can. And slide 1 that we looked at, point 5 for us now, Pessimism kills your creativity, but more crucially, not just your creativity, because you're not going to feel like doing anything, also rubs off on the people around you and kills their creativity too. Okay, so it's not fair on the other people. As Jim Rohn said, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. I say all the time, if you're going to hang out with 5 bitching, whinging actors who hate their lives, you'll be the 6th, okay? That's why your Facebook group is so good. Positivity is the key. No, it is, and I've got a bit of a zero tolerance on negativity as well. There was even a post before in the Facebook group where Sasha put on about someone being negative, and that's when I wrote about the Krabbe Bukit syndrome. And Sasha, hello, no worries. And then there was a few more posts about other people being negative, and I almost stepped in and went, right, let's not focus on this anymore. Let's just kind of calm that down. Sarcasm's fine, totally, Kev. Sarcasm, humorous stuff is totally cool. But I just don't want people to fixate on negativity for too long. So even if you're writing something to go, oh God, I can't believe this person was so negative today. I've got a case study for you. Check this out. I don't like people kind of like that thread getting too long, where everybody suddenly just, there's a deluge of, oh my God, that person's so terrible. I can't, that in itself is kind of like, wait a minute, guys, we've got better things to do than all focus on this. The Tale of the Krabs is amazing, Sasha. Yeah, for those who kind of missed that, and you can see this on YouTube, and I'll post a link in the Facebook group as well. But yeah, it's called Krabbe Bukit syndrome, basically. And if one crab is in a bucket of water and the lid's off, it'll climb out and it's fine and it will always escape. If there are more than one crab, so 2 or more crabs in that bucket, the minute one of them tries to get out, the others drag it back down so that they all end up in the bucket and they all have the same fate. This is what people have in real life to deal with, okay? So you just be aware of it, because it's going to happen, okay? And people will put the pincers on you, like the crab, and they'll try and drag you down, but luckily for us, we have the power of choice to go, well, actually, I'm not going to let you drag me down, and if I have to, I will eject myself from the situation. Because we don't actually have to climb out of a bucket, thank God. But metaphorically speaking, you do have to sometimes kind of break the wall down and just escape, because people just don't want to see other people doing well when they're not doing well. We're an anti-crab group, exactly. Sounds a bit interesting. We had a viral blog about about the bucket of crabs. It's brilliant. A lot, it's kind of mentioned quite a lot in personal development and stuff, but it's just it resonates with me a lot, and it's so relevant because it's just so true. I tried to diffuse a thread earlier. I saw that, Sam, and I really appreciate that. Diffusion is best. We need to deflect. Sometimes people will come into the Facebook group and they'll want to moan, because to them, when people moan and whinge about stuff, it gives them significance. And significance is one of 4 main human needs, one of 4 things that drives us. Significance, to feel worthy, to feel good, to feel that we wouldn't do that, we wouldn't moan, that kind of thing. And a few things really give us significance. One, and a few of them are really negative. One is violence, one is shouting. Road rage, for instance, gives people significance. If they've cut someone up and really it's their fault, they lose significance because they think, oh God, I'm not a very good driver. One way I can make up for that is by shouting back at that person and going, oh, it was your fault as well, you idiot, blah, blah, blah. Because we need to get that significance back. And sometimes when people have a rant and a moan, it's their way of getting significance back. But really, what is more positive way would actually be to not give time to focus on that, but actually focus on the things that you could be doing that's going to really improve your life, as opposed to the things that are really just going to make you feel better about your life by whinging about other people. And that's like Jeremy Kyle syndrome. Sometimes people go, oh, I just feel terrible, nothing's going right. Let's put Jeremy Kyle on and look at all the people who have got a worse life than me. It's going to make me feel better. My life stays where it is when I do that, though. Whereas if you didn't turn the TV on and you just focused on spending that half an hour or whatever it was you were going to spend watching TV on your own life and getting more awesome and achieving greatness in whatever form you see that as, then you're going to fulfill that need for significance at a much higher level and a much more sustainable level that's going to last more than just a half an hour, whilst you're watching telly or whatever. So I hope that's kind of useful, guys. So there's a little bit of science again there, but they're the 5 reasons why being a negaholic will literally just, will kill you. It ultimately could literally kill you. Could take your life, could cause you all those diseases, heart attack, dementia. We don't want things like that. Let's just focus and choose optimism. okay, and particularly the point where we made before about not blaming ourselves for stuff. An optimist doesn't blame themselves for things that go wrong. They just think this is temporary and it's going to get better. I should be on the Neghead watch now on the page. Yeah, everyone have made an admin on the page. I think we've got about 7. I'll make more people admins the bigger the group gets as well. Definitely be watching for this sort of stuff. Darn, missed the beginning, just joined. No worries, Moya, you can watch the replay. Don't worry about it. So there's 2 ways to watch the replay of these Periscopes for those who are new. It'll be available directly after this via the Periscope app. So if you literally, when this scope finishes in a minute, reopen the scope, it will start again from the beginning. You can hold your finger down on the video and scrub, and you can skip through bits if you've already seen bits. I also record all these Periscopes to YouTube. Now that takes me a little bit of time. It takes me a couple of hours after the scope finishes, but you can watch it on YouTube and on actonthis.tv from tomorrow. So I'll post something positive on the, yeah, exactly, in the next 24 hours. Awesome idea. I didn't catch whose name that was, but that's a great idea. Yeah, definitely. Was that Rach? I think it was Rach. Someone said yes, Rach. It must be Rach. Yeah, definitely. And it's and some people will. Just be prepared. I don't know if people in the group will do it. The people in the group probably won't do it. But like I say, I do sometimes come up against Una. Good to see you. Una, you should follow Creative Flow as well, guys. If anyone's got any kind of business or anything like that, Una is an actress which does a lot of kind of business coaching as well. Very motivated and driven. She's definitely a force for good. Una, we've just been talking about 5 reasons being a negaholic will ruin your acting career, but not just your acting career, but life in general. We've unfortunately been through every point, so you're going to have to watch it on the replay, Una, I'm afraid. But I saw your scope before, which is great. It was really, really good. Una did a scope on trust before. You can go and watch that one as well if you follow her. But yeah, I was saying, just be prepared when you do choose optimism over pessimism every single time. And you are seen as this kind of positive force and a positive character, then like that bucket of crabs, where those crabs who are negative want to just drag you back into the bucket and won't let you climb out, people who see you as that kind of positivity and that positive force, they will sometimes kind of see you as like, oh yeah, but you're just, they may not take you that seriously sometimes. Just go, oh, you're just Mr. Positive, aren't you? Or, oh, everything's all right for you. Oh, woe me. Because, again, it's them focusing on themselves, I guess, and trying to maybe bring you down a little bit. So just be aware of that. So you will face that. Not in the Facebook group, because we've got all the Facebook police. Nina, Sam, Kim, me, all the other admins will destroy the negativity that comes in that group if it does. It's about taking responsibility. It is, Una. It's about just being accountable for where you're at in your life and understanding that you are where you're at because of every decision you have made in your life, even to the point where you press join to get on tonight's Periscope to watch this. You wouldn't be in this position right now if you hadn't made that decision. Equally, you wouldn't be where you are in your life and career had you not made every single decision you've made in your life. And when you step back and you take accountability for those and responsibility, it's really empowering, because you go, you know what, even if they weren't all that great, the decisions I've made, I've learned from them. And as long as you're learning, there's no failure. Okay, there's no such thing as failure as long as you are learning. That's one of the 10 Bulletproof Actor commandments for those who are doing the Bulletproof Actor course. It's closed for enrollment at the moment, but will open again in a few months. But it says here, life happens for me and not to me. And it says that there are no failures, only outcomes. If I learn something, I am succeeding. And that's just so true. If you're learning something, you're succeeding instantly. No failure, only feedback. Good one, Una. I like that. That sounds pretty good. So I hope that's been useful, guys. Like I say, I'll go and record the replay of this and I'll put it on actonthis.tv, so it will be available on the Periscope section tomorrow. You'll also be able to download the slides that I've used as a PDF, and you can keep them, just so you can go through them and keep them on your computer or your phone or whatever, just to remind yourself. You can download the slides of every Periscope. There's like 65 Periscopes I think I've done. They're all available right now on actonthis.tv. Just click on Periscope. And I've got loads of exciting stuff coming on the site over the next few weeks. It's all going to be changing again. We're going to relaunch it again. Slightly different look to it. It's going to be faster, more features. And thanks, Rach. Thanks for joining us. You can wait for the recording, Moya, or like I say, you can watch it on the Periscope app straight away after this. 65 scopes. Yeah, I know. I think it is. It might. Yes, I think it's about 65, 66. Something like that. So yeah, it's crazy. Shariza is here. I didn't know you were here, Shariza. Good to see you. Pleasure. I'll be back on Friday, guys. We're doing book club on Friday, and we're reading Brendan Burchard's The Charge. It's an awesome book. It's on activating the 10 human drives that make us feel alive, and we're going to be looking at Oh yeah, watch the replay on Periscope. Then you can give hearts on Periscope. You can't do that on YouTube. We're going to be looking at the drive for control on Friday, which is something that I think we all need in our lives. It's something that I've struggled with over the years in terms of giving up control, particularly in business. I struggle with that a little bit, but we're going to be looking at the drive for control, how you can get it and how you can let go of it to empower yourself as well. So that's Friday night, 10 p.m. Be here, or be down the pub or something, doing something nowhere near as good for yourself. So I'm going to go, guys, but thank you so much for joining us. If you've watched the replay this far, appreciate you so much. Very grateful for you being here. Thank you so much for joining us. Subscribe, share it with your friends, tweet me at Ross A. Grant. Let me know what you think of these scopes, and let me know what you might have suggestion-wise for future topics as well. My positivity made someone's day today. Good for you, Kim. Awesome. Pleasure, Lindsay. And thanks for all the new faces for joining us. Really appreciate you. I'll try and end this slickly. There we go. Sometimes I bring all the notifications down on my iPhone and I can't do it very well, but we're good tonight. Awesome. Thank you, guys. Have a great night, great day tomorrow, and I'll see you Friday night, 10 p.m. for book club. Bye for now.